Welcome to Vibrational Revelations. Today's episode, we're going to reveal major countries. Well, we're omitting a lot of countries, but countries, cities around the world, and 6 of the US states. We're going to look into 3 parameters, or we're revealing 3 parameters to you. 2019, which is the year pre-COVID. 2020, we're looking at the overall frequencies. And the 2021, which should give you a very clear idea of what has been happening and where things are shifting into.
And how is COVID impacting
the collective?
The collective, yes.
Yes. Now I'm going to make an announcement since I didn't do this prior to the recording. Please make sure that you look and see when your membership expires, because we just realized that our email system does not send automatic emails or reminders, which was initially programmed to do that. So in the last week, over 100 people had actually dropped from the community and then reached out to us asking, why can't I log in? So just go and check the date of expiration so you can renew it on time and you don't miss anything. Thank you. One other reminder, February 25th through the 27th is a quantum practitioner retreat and training, which is happening in Florida, Marco Island, Florida. So if you're interested, we still have some spots left. Let us know. It's going to be a small group, and I want it to be small for a very specific reason, because it's going to be all hands-on learning and experience. So if you're interested, please let us know. Email us. Okay. Perhaps let's set an intention, right? Let's set an intention of, before we reveal this information to you, to surround humanity in a beautiful divine light of protection, love, peace. So let's take a moment. And let's hold humanity in this beautiful space that we create here together as a community. Beautiful. At the very end, as always, we'll ask which one of you would like to receive healing today, and we will send you healing energy at the end as a group. So first, we're going to start with countries. So let's start with USA. USA, we're going to look at, again, year 2019, 2020, and 2021. The overall frequency for United States in the year 2019 was a frequency of 200. 2020, the frequency dropped to 100, which is fear. And the overall frequency for United States as of right now, 2021, is grief, 75. Germany, overall frequency in 2019 was 175, pride. 2020, the frequency dropped to 100, fear. And 2021, which is this year, is the frequency of 50, apathy, also manipulation. This will be a very common frequency that you'll be seeing today. Netherlands, the frequency in 2019 was 175, which is pride. 2020, the frequency dropped to 100, fear. And 2021, the frequency as of this year is 50, apathy, manipulation. Sweden, the vibrational frequency of Sweden in 2019 was 175, which is the frequency of pride. The frequency then dropped last year to frequency of fear, 100. And this year, the frequency is rising. It's 125, desire, unfulfilled desire. Spain. The overall frequency of Spain was 175 in 2019. Then the frequency dropped to fear, 100. And the frequency this year is still fear, 100. France. The frequency in France in 2019 was 175. It dropped last year to the frequency of 50, which is apathy. And as of this year, it is still 50, apathy or manipulation. Italy. Italy in 2019 was the frequency of 100. It dropped to the frequency of 50, apathy, and it stayed. This year still at 50, which is apathy manipulation. Croatia. Overall vibrational frequency in 2019, 100, fear. It changed into 50 in 2020, and is staying there at 50 as of today, 2021. Ireland. Ireland's vibrational frequency in 2019 was 175, pride. It dropped to a frequency of fear last year, 2020, frequency of 100. And as of this year, 2021, Ireland is at the frequency of 50, apathy. Denmark. Overall vibrational frequency for Denmark was in 2019 175, which is the frequency of pride. It dropped last year to the frequency of 55, which is apathy, manipulation, and it's still there at 55. Switzerland. Switzerland's overall vibrational frequency was 175 in 2019. It dropped to the frequency of 50. And it's still there this year in the frequency of 50. Apathy, again, this manipulation aspect. United Kingdom. The overall vibrational frequency in 2019 was 50. 2020, 50. And 2030, and 2021 is 30, the frequency of guilt. I think this is going to be one of the lowest. Russia. Russia, overall vibrational frequency in 2019, 175, dropped to a frequency of fear, 100, and the overall frequency is 55. China. China's overall vibrational frequency in 2019 was 50, 2020, 50, and 2021 is still 50.
Similar to UK.
Very similar. Israel was at a frequency of 100 in 2019. It dropped to the frequency of 50 in 2020, and it is remaining at the frequency of 50, 2021. Canada, overall vibrational frequency in 2019 is 100. It was 100, fear. It dropped to the frequency last year of 50, and this year it's a frequency of 30. Wow.
Guilt.
Very similar to UK. Australia. Overall vibrational frequency in 2019 was 100, fear. It dropped to the frequency of 50 in 2020, and 2021 still 50. New Zealand. New Zealand was at 175, pride, in 2019. It dropped to the frequency of 100, fear, in 2020. And as of this year, the frequency of New Zealand is 55. Apathy, manipulation. Norway. This is the last country on the list of the countries that we've measured for this episode. Norway's frequency in 2019 was 310, which is willingness. It dropped to a frequency of 200, courage, in 2020. And as of this year, 2021, the frequency is 350, acceptance. So out of the countries that we've measured, this is the one that has had the biggest rise and the highest frequency.
And the biggest frequency in 2019 as well.
Yes, out of the countries that, of course, we've measured, yes.
So now, we have measured, yes.
Right, because there's, I'm sure, many, many more to measure. Okay.
You know, we should name the fly because
it's bothering you.
Feels like a member.
The fly here is bothering you.
We're going to cities, right? Beijing, frequency in 2019, 100, the level of fear. In 2020, 50, level of apathy, and remained at 50, or remains at 50 in 2021, as of today. New Delhi, overall frequency in 2019, 100, level of fear. 2020, 50, level of apathy. And 2021, as of today, is 75, the level of grief. Tokyo, overall frequency in 2019, 250, level of neutrality. 2020, 100, level of fear. And 2021, as of today, 50, level of apathy. Rome, overall frequency in 2019, 125, level of desire, unfulfilled desire. 2020, 50, level of apathy, and remains at 50 as of today. Paris, overall frequency in 2019, 500, level of love. In 2020, it dropped to 100, level of fear.
That's a huge drop.
And in 2021, or this year, dropped to 50, level of apathy. So it's like a majority of people went from being in the flow in 2019 or being inspired, empowered, motivated to being emotionally disconnected.
Shut down.
In a way, shut down, numb themselves down, right? Yes. London, overall frequency in 2019, 100, level of fear. 2020, 50, level of apathy, and remains at 50 as of today, 2021. Barcelona, overall frequency in 2019, 250, level of neutrality. In 2020, 100, level of fear. And 2021, as of today, is 50, level of apathy. Amsterdam, overall frequency in 2019, 250, level of neutrality. Dropped to 50 in 2020 and remains at 50 as of today, 2021. Berlin, overall frequency 200, level of courage.
That's in 2019.
In 2019, yes. And 2020 dropped to 100, level of fear. And in 2021 dropped to 50, level of apathy. New York City, overall frequency in 2019, 100, level of fear, dropped to 50 in 2020, and now is at 30, which is the level of guilt.
No wonder.
In 2021, as of today, right?
Yeah, no wonder. We were there for a day with Mark. I couldn't wait to get out. It just felt completely off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rotterdam. Rotterdam. Overall frequency in 2019, 250, level of neutrality. Dropped to 100, level of fear in 2020. And then dropped to 50 this year. So now, as of today, is experiencing the level of apathy. Stockholm, see if I pronounce it correctly. Overall frequency in 2019, 310. That is the level of willingness. And dropped to 200 in 2020, which is the level of courage. And in 2021 has increased, went from courage to neutrality. Now is at 255. Cape Town. This is South Africa, right? Overall frequency in 2019, 100, level of fear. Dropped to 50, level of apathy in 2020. And remains at 50 as of today, 2021.
Reykjavik.
Reykjavik?
Iceland.
Okay, Reykjavik.
We have like a direct flight from Tampa. Well, we did before COVID.
Really?
Reykjavik, yeah.
Reykjavik, okay. Overall frequency in 2019, 350. Level of acceptance. Dropped to 200 in 2020. And then it dropped to 100 in 2021. So it's, as of today, is experiencing the level of fear collectively, right? Moscow, overall frequency in 2019, 250, level of neutrality, dropped to 100, level of fear in 2020, and then dropped to 50, level of apathy in 2021. Excuse me. And last but not least, Sydney. Overall frequency in 2018, 175, level of pride, dropped to 55, level of apathy in 2020, and then dropped to 30, level of guilt in 2021.
All right, so now we'll reveal to you the 6 US states. We looked at 3 Republican states and 3 Democratic states just to see the contrast. So we measured Florida, our home state, and in the year 2019, Florida's overall vibrational frequency was 310, willingness. In 2020, it was at 310, willingness, which is interesting. It didn't change. And in 2021, this year, the overall vibrational frequency for the state of Florida increased to 350, actually the same as Norway. Acceptance. Texas. Overall vibrational frequency for Texas in 2019 was 200. 2020, it dropped to 175, pride, and it stayed there for this year. So this year, 2021, the frequency is also 175, the same as last year. North Dakota, overall vibrational frequency 250 in 2019. In 2020, it stayed at 250, which is neutrality. And in 2021, this year, the vibrational frequency is neutrality, but it's rising. It's at 275.
Next is California. It used to be my home state. Overall frequency in 2019 is 100, level of fear, dropped to 50, level of apathy in 2020, and in 2021 dropped to 40. So it's...
Why 40? Hold on, 50.
50, I'm sorry.
It stayed, 55 and 50, sorry.
Yes, let's not be alarmed. It's a mistake. We can correct that quickly. No one is going to die or pass out.
Well, they're all
So
taking
it
notes.
remains experiencing the level of apathy, right? Collectively speaking, in 2021, in the state of California. New York.
State, right?
Yes, we're revealing states, yes. New York in 2019, overall frequency 100, level of fear, dropped to 50 in 2020, and, this is the one, that dropped to 40 in 2021. So as of today, they're experiencing, this is the level of guilt moving towards or back to apathy, hopefully improving. But right now they're experiencing guilt collectively. Hawaii, this is the last state on our list for today's episode. Overall frequency in 2019, 250, the level of apathy, dropped to 50 in 2020 and remains at 50 as of today, 2021. Yes.
That wraps up the numbers. Very, very interesting. That Europe, if we're looking at Europe, right, overall, the numbers for most European countries right now are at 50. That's unfortunate. Hawaii was at 250 in 2019. So we'll take some questions, some feedback. Yeah. Maria wrote, this is why we have so many Californians and New Yorkers moving to South Carolina. They call themselves COVID refugees. Haha. I know.
South Carolina and Florida as well.
Yeah, I know in Tampa we had like 50,000 people move here last year. Oh, wow. Cecilia says a lot of French people are coming to Sweden now. Yes.
Yeah, 50,000 was in 2020, no?
2020.
Now it's more.
Right. This was last year.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Norway has really amazing numbers.
Similar trend in Florida.
Yeah, so I think it corresponds or correlates in some ways to what we're seeing unfold, right? On a global scale. So the numbers actually matched it pretty well. Yeah. Canada in 2019 was fear frequency 100. Wonder if nature plays a part. Well, we've measured nature. Remember, Earth frequency is the frequency of 700, and we are nature. So we're playing a part in it ourselves by allowing.
Well, yes, nature plays a part always.
And we are nature. We're part of it.
It's just how connected we are to nature. Right?
Merkel said they have reached their goal to stop mankind rising of consciousness and make it drop radically. Yes, I think this is what we revealed in the 2 weeks ago episode, right? That the frequency will go into 125 next year. So Alejandro and I are talking about setting up a community where we will be focusing on raising the collective consciousness. Of course, this community is all about that, but doing conscious work every week.
That will be the main focus.
The main focus. So if you guys are interested, definitely let us know. We'll be putting it together for next year. Yes, this is, I think, the number one priority right now for everyone here, I'm sure. Yeah, so this is for what we've seen. It's for a period of time, right? This is going through what we call the collective shadow. Humanity is going through that, but based on the numbers we've seen, looking ahead at 2023, 24 is when we're shifting back into courage. Yes.
Yes, it's this miracle. How could it be that mankind in 2020 was 230 with so many cities and countries low in 2019 and 2020? No, as we were reading these countries, or Elena was today, or revealing their numbers, I was thinking that there are so many other countries. Obviously, they're not included here. They were contributing to that vibrational frequency. And I will say that now is that the majority of the countries around the world have dropped their frequencies, but still you have many places such as Florida,
Norway,
North Dakota, and when it comes to countries, Norway, right? They're holding their frequencies, or at least frequencies above 200. So these places, they are in the 300s, 400s. They are helping us to have a 100 as collectively. Otherwise, we'll be in the 50s. Otherwise,
Yes. I think everyone is just silent at the moment. Erica says low consciousness is a catalyst for awakening. Yes. Will you do more countries next week? Do you guys want us to do more countries next week? I think next week we were doing
whistleblowers.
Whistleblowers for you.
Famous whistleblowers, yes, in the world.
I think we looked at 10, so yes. Include more Africa, yes. Africa, I think India, just more Asian countries we should look into as well. Romania. Yeah, we can do another quick episode on that.
We've done Great Britain and Bruce Lipton.
Yeah, we revealed their frequencies as well. Oh yes, Brazil. We do need to look at Brazil. That's true. Yeah, South America. That's right, Cheryl says, do not lose hope. That's correct. This is just the the shadow aspect. It's the growing pains that we're going through collectively at the moment.
Yes.
Actually,
we can start with continents too. Cover all the continents, get the frequencies, and then few countries from each, so to find a pattern.
Well, let's pull a card for the world right now.
For the world.
For the world. For the humanity.
Well, maybe I want to entertain more questions, and
okay.
Before we get to that.
Yes. Places, we should read places with more water, forests, mountains, and less population. It most likely will have higher frequencies and will help anchor it as the population does their own shadow cleansing. Yes, that sounds right. We did not do Brazil. We should do next time. I know there's many places to cover.
It is very possible. But at the same time, you think about it, if you're surrounded by water and you're emitting nothing but low vibrational frequencies, the water is going to be imprinted by that and remain imprinted. And then
that's what we found, right? What do you do water in London, right?
Unless the people change their the level of consciousness that they're experiencing or raise their frequency, then you can somewhat imprint new information to obliterate the old information that has been imprinted in the water, right? In nature. And then
so but I think they're talking about less populated areas, right? So the less populated areas with more nature.
No, it's a good point. What I'm saying is that rather water or no water, I will say that it is so relative, because water or no water, the electromagnetic field is in ethers, let's say. It's not depending on how much water or nature we have around us, right? It's like you don't depend on how much water or nature you have around you. It could help you, support you, but it's all happening within you, right? And then we have enough water within us to imprint all the information that we have been imprinting since birth, that we also have to reprogram and obliterate the information that is contributing to the energetic blockages that we have created, right?
This person wrote, I live in London now, and first I wanted to say that I don't feel its vibration is that low, but after a second thought, I realized that yes, people are scared of COVID.
Yeah, that's the way to cope with the situation, right? And what do? They rather numb themselves or disconnect emotionally so they don't feel this pain on a daily basis. They don't know what to do. They just have to. They feel forced to comply, and they go into shutdown mode, in order to function in society.
Yes.
In order to navigate.
All right. Would you like to pull a card? We'll pull a card and then we'll see.
What would they like?
Would you guys like? Yes, that's what I'm asking them.
Yes, that new generation is, is a major factor, but it's not the only factor, right? Because it's them plus all of us, they're awakening, or they have been awakened.
Yes. How are you currently perceiving the difference between being exposed to a higher vibration and actually being able to hold and anchor it? Well, I think it all depends on your state of being. If you're open and you stay open, right? And you're curious and you're holding your own vibration, you'll be able to anchor it a lot easier than people who are shut off, shut down.
You're currently perceiving the difference between being exposed to a higher, perceiving the difference between being exposed to a higher vibration and actually being able to hold and anchor it. There are a few questions in that question, I feel.
Oh yeah, secret societies. We were going to do a whole show on that. We forgot. Yes. Thank you, Sarah.
I would say that if you get to feel good, right, which represents a high vibrational frequency experience, feeling good, empowered, excited, inspired, motivated, then the way to hold it is to dive in deeper, to observe it and identify its beauty and pay attention to the details. As you're observing it, you pay attention to all the details, and for as long as possible, and without thinking as of how long you're holding it for or how long you have to hold it. Just doing the process of observing it and paying attention to the details and identifying the beauty of it, that's going to help you to hold it for as long as possible, right? Without being attached to the outcome. And that eventually, practicing it often, eventually will become your predominant emotion and will contribute to increase your overall frequency, to experience higher levels of consciousness.
She's probably talking to you. I think you're talking about events that took place that we revealed, right? The events like last year in 2020, that a frequency of 1,000, that why humanity cannot handle or hold these frequencies, high frequencies. And that has to do with your own ability to, at what frequency you vibrate and how do you perceive reality around you, right?
Right. And very, very few people are really aware enough like you are, right? Next time there's an event like that, alike, then you can consciously, create your own ritual, let's say, to
anchor the frequencies.
Anchor that frequency. So it's all about your intention more than needing some specific technique or strategy, right?
Shanti just reminded us to do a show on breatharians and sun gazers. Yes, you were going to send us a list, but I'm very curious to do that as well and read those frequencies. All right, everyone asked for a card. They all said yes, please. While you shuffle, I'll read. Anna just wrote, I would like to thank you because since I started listening to you, I'm becoming more and more conscious about my vibration and doing my best to increase it whenever I realize I dropped. Just professional shuffle. Hold that thought. Oh my gosh, it's exactly the same card you pulled last time.
It is?
Identical. Look at that. Do you guys remember? That's the card I read out loud.
Really?
Literally the last time. Yes.
Okay, what is...
Well, that's the same message.
Well, you can read a little bit of it.
Okay, right here.
Are you sure it was the same?
Yes. Yes. Dvarapatra. Do you guys remember that?
194.
I'll just briefly touch upon it. It's the number 38, so it equals to 11.
Wow.
It's exactly the same.
Out of confusion. a clear and progressive pathway is opening up
Yes.
for you. That's so beautiful. I like the beginning.
That's it.
That sums it all up.
Yes.
Interesting. I asked the same personal question and got the same answer.
It's just basically all going to work out. So, all right. So let's turn the cameras on, and we're going to see who here would like to have a session. Who would like to have healing? Oh, we see your wonderful faces. Janine, Mirka, Deborah, Michaela. Wonderful to see you. And yes, you guys want to have another quick episode. Maybe we'll just record it on more countries. Yes? Looking at more countries. Yes? Okay. Maybe it's something we can just record.
Why not?
Why not? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, please, in more states. All right.
Then we can look at the statistics and see based on the statistics of COVID and so forth, come up with the next list of the states, right? To compare, there's a pattern, to see there's a pattern. Because there is a pattern, I feel, here as of how they implemented their policies.
Norway.
When it comes to COVID, right? And if you look at Norway, you look at Florida, North Dakota, Stockholm, there is a pattern, I think, right? As to how they have been handling the situation.
But majority of people are vaccinated, right? Like Norway, Cheryl, right? You wrote that 90% of people are. So they just have reached their goal, right? Sweden too.
Yeah, but Norway was in 2018 prior to COVID at 310, so they were willing participants, and then dropped a little to courage, right? And now they're back to 350 acceptance, even higher than 310. So they realized, okay.
Pushkara is sharing files. I think you have to email them to us because for some reason we can't retrieve it here. I think email would work best, but whoever would like to look at the files that Pushkara just shared, that would be great.
Who are you scratching, Monique? Oh, your dog. Okay. I thought
Pictures.
It was probably your husband's head or something.
No, I don't think so.
I couldn't see. Well, without glasses, I cannot see it. Wow.
Okay, let's see. There's more
That's
questions.
my excuse when I forget names.
How is it possible for the Norwegians to have a higher vibration if all of them are vaccinated? You know, this is something that we actually talked about in the very beginning. We noticed it does not drop your vibrational frequency. We've looked at patterns of people who are vaccinated and their frequency does not drop. It creates other issues. Like, remember I mentioned a while ago that we looked at Jing? Jing is like the interface between the soul and the physical body. And that is the part that is burning through a lot faster, the Jing. Right? So the candle wax is burning, but it does not impact the frequency.
Well, it depends how they feel about it.